Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to school. Hi, Mr. Presley here with you on this kind of chilly morning, but it's so beautiful out. The sun's coming out. What a crisp, gorgeous, late winter day. Today is Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. You can see I'm outside here in front of Frylands. Look how cool. Can you see? You see the moon right there? Like a half moon in the picture. Do you see it? It's right. Right. Oh, my finger's in the way. It's right there. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hey, I hope you're ready for a great day of learning. Today's Wednesday, like I said, a wonderful Wednesday for learning. Today with SOAR, we're talking about the O, ownership, or owning your actions. That's talking about responsibility. Hi, how you guys doing today? Awesome. Here comes Alice and Audrey. Hi guys, good to see you girls come into school this morning, getting ready to start. Like I said, today we're talking about owning your actions or being responsible. So like in the lunchroom, be responsible means, picking up after yourself, those kind of things. Outside at recess, picking up your recess equipment, those kind of things. In the classroom, it's about, doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? When the teacher gives you some tasks to do. Hi, Miss Gadd. Good morning. So when you get tasks to do in your classroom, that you're responsible to get those done and work hard, right? Working hard is part of being responsible and owning your actions. And when you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, that you take responsibility for that. Or when you make a mistake, which we all do, adults too, that you own your actions and you say either you're sorry or, hey, I made the mistake. I'll try and learn from that. That's what we want to try and do. There's a bus driver heading off to go pick up more kids. Ooh, look at that. So one thing I want to remind you of today is we will be giving out SOAR tickets for students that are owning their actions and showing responsibility, whether you're out at recess or you're in the classroom or you're in the lunchroom. So keep that in mind. Hey, speaking of the lunchroom, today we have cheese pizza. It's Wednesday, so it's pizza day. Cheese pizza and roasted broccoli, or you can have a tuna salad sandwich. So something to keep in mind. Also, I talked to you yesterday, our yearbook orders. If you'd like to pre-order a yearbook, they're $18. We sent these home, but if you need a form, you can pick one up in the office. Your parents can order either online or do it by paper and turn in a cash check or do, like I say, the online orders. So order your memories today. I know our fifth graders are going to help us with a little bit of that yearbook stuff. You'll be hearing about that soon. Hey, I wanted to share with you for Black History Month 2 different individuals. The first one I wanted to share is Ella Baker. Pretty important person. Ella, she was born in 1903, and she was an African-American civil rights and human rights activist. So she was largely behind the scenes organizing. Her career spanned 5 decades, that's 50 years. So a lot in New York City and the South. She worked alongside a lot of the civil rights leaders of the 20th century, including, we've talked about W.E.B. Du Bois and Thurgood Marshall, who became a Supreme Court Justice, Philip Randolph, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So she worked with all of them in civil rights. She also mentored emerging activists such as Stokely Carmichael and Bob Moses. And she was a leader in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. She criticized people that were charismatic and she felt there were some people who were just trying to do some of the civil rights things for not the right reasons. She promoted grassroots organizing and radical democracy and the ability of the oppressed to understand their world and advocate. So she was a big person that you should advocate for your rights. Anyways, her vision was realized mostly in the 1960s, and she's considered one of the most important American leaders of the 20th century and perhaps the most influential woman in the civil rights movement. So you can see this is Ella Baker. Again, a lot of stuff behind the scenes that she did, and she did a lot with helping students, especially college students, high school students, to organize and demand their rights. The other person I wanted to mention was this gentleman, Charles Chappelle. Here's Charles Chappelle. You know the lighting out here with the sun. So Charles Chappelle, he was around in the early 1900s, and he was an African-American aviation, that means like planes, aviation pioneer, and he was a medal winner. He was also an electrical engineer and a businessman, and he was actually the president of the USA African Union Company, and his mission in the early 1900s was to create small, modernized African cities for blacks with land from the Gold Coast of West Africa. So he was really big on trying to help Africa and West African countries and the people there to modernize and give them jobs and give them careers. So he helped modernize the construction. He raised money for the construction and modernization of the countries on the Gold Coast of West Africa through the stock market, and also the infrastructure with metals, and dealt with companies such as U.S. Steel. So he was really big on bringing contracts to West African countries and to help them with basically being part of the global economy. And again, he used the money also to develop a railroad system in Africa and a West Coast Steam and Harbor Company, both African American and African joint ventures. So pretty important person too to help the economy. That means for jobs and growth and careers for African Americans and Africans. So pretty cool. And the last thing I wanted to share with you is I got this cool book. Look at this book. It's called Sit In, How Four Friends Stood Up by Sitting Down. It's by Andrea Davis Pinkney and illustrated by Brian Pinkney. And it talks about, some of our friends, talks about the sit-ins that happened. This was in 1960. So it was these four gentlemen, these four men who sat down at the counter. They were told they couldn't sit there. It was for whites only. It's a great story that talks about real events that happened just in the 1960s, not really that long ago, and how they sat down at the counter and were told they couldn't, and then they started a movement to have more people sitting at the counter. And it just talks about their whole, what they did and some of the courage it took for them to do that. Look at this. This is a cool picture. This is them sitting at the counter. So this is a cool book. This is given to me by one of my friends, Mrs. Moeller. Mrs. Moeller gave me this book. And so I've got to sit down and read this now. It says, she wrote in the book, when you find a book that brings you to tears, you order as many as you can and you share it. Enjoy. Thank you, Mrs. Moeller. That was so kind of her to do something like that. So cool book. I'll see if we have it in our library, or we can get it in our library so you can check it out too. I'm going to read it first, and then maybe I can share it with you if you'd like to read it. So it's called Sit In. Pretty cool. All right, boys and girls, let's have an awesome day together. Remember, today we're talking about owning our actions. That means when we make mistakes, we apologize and we own up to that. And we think about our actions as far as, well, why are we here at school? We're here today to learn. So think about what you can do today to make sure that you're working hard, learning as much as you can, and doing the best you can. All right, boys and girls, have an awesome day of learning. And always remember, your Frylands family cares about you. Teachers, please lead your students in with the Pledge of Allegiance. Check out that cool moon. Isn't that cool? Have a great day.